Hello everybody, I'm Darrell Ernest, Deputy Administrator of the USDA AMS Cotton Program. Each of you performs an important task in the cotton grading process that is critical to the cotton industry. However, I am not only concerned about the task that you perform, I'm also equally concerned about the environment that you work in. My staff and I want to provide you with a workplace that allows you to have the environment needed to help you do your job efficiently and safely. You play an important role by constantly being aware of your surroundings and any potential hazards. You as an employee must be aware of dangers that might occur. You are also a vital part in passing on along information as new hazards develop. The safety video you're about to view is intended to pass along important information about some of the things that you should be aware of and how to respond to potential safety hazards. Please take the information in this video and the Cotton Program's safety initiatives very seriously as we continue our efforts to keep you safe. Together, we can all ensure a safe and efficient workplace for everyone. Thank you all for all that you do, and remember to be safe.
Hazards that can be found in a normal office. It would be foolish to think that just because you work in a normal office, you're immune from harm. Hazards that can be found in a normal office can be responsible for a variety of workplace injuries. Some of them are potentially serious. In addition to the obvious hazards such as slippery floors, it is important for you to identify all of the hazards that are present in your office so they can be properly evaluated and, when necessary, removed or controlled to reduce risk levels. Falls are a major cause of injury in the office. An ordinary office can contain many common fall hazards. These include tripping hazards presented by various obstacles, open desk drawers, loose computer wires and cables, loose carpeting and flooring materials. Incorrectly stored objects are all common examples of trip hazards that can cause falls in the office. Slips can be caused by wet or slippery surfaces or wearing footwear inappropriately for the workplace. As you can see, it's easy for any office to be full of hazards that can cause slips, trips, or falls. However, such hazards are among the easiest to eliminate or control. A big part of preventing fall accidents in the office is simply to use good housekeeping practices. Putting items away in their proper place will reduce the possibility of trips. If you see objects laying around, pick them up and never put boxes or other items in walkways. Electrical cords and computer cables are to be secured out of the way of walkways. Spills should be cleaned up properly and warning cones put in place anywhere the floor is wet or slippery. When carrying boxes, never carry the items that obscure your vision. You should always wear appropriate shoes in the office and have non-slip soles. Finally, falling from heights in the office results from using inappropriate items to stand on or to reach high shelves. To reach high places, you should always use appropriate design steps or a step ladder.
It is important to know the ways in which equipment can cause harm. Electrical shock can cause harm or death. Equipment with stored energy also has the potential of causing severe bodily harm and death. Equipment that you will be in contact with at this facility, such as HVIs, conveyors, and the bale press, can not only harm you in its mechanical function, but it can also cause harm through electrical shock. Power should be removed from all equipment prior to any work being performed to ensure that a mechanical function does not occur that could cause harm. An industry safety practice standard, commonly referred to as lockout-tagout, should be followed. This practice requires a power source for the equipment shall be removed prior to any maintenance or repair being performed. You must disconnect the power source, such as a circuit breaker panel or disconnect switch, and attach a lock with a tag to prevent other individuals from energizing the power source. The tag is meant to provide information on who locked out equipment. The store power is also a concern when working on electrical, compressed air, or hydraulic equipment. If stored energy is not safely released, the equipment has the same potential for movement or electrical shock, even though the power source has been removed. The removal of stored energy is typically done by bleeding the compressed air or hydraulic fluid in the system. Contact with the areas of the electrical stored energy, such as capacitors, should be avoided since shock hazard has not been removed. You must check with equipment manufacturer to ensure that you have properly removed the stored energy. The lab, receiving room, mechanical room, and the bale press room contain equipment that can cause most harm. However, the front office of the building contains hazards. Most of these hazards are related to your electrical shock. Care should be taken when removing electrical cords from an outlet to prevent shock or sparks. You should contact a supervisor if you see any frayed or damaged electrical cords. Remember, the only piece of equipment that is safe for maintenance or repair are those that have all power sources and all stored power removed. Additional information regarding the lockout-tagout procedures for equipment specific to your work area will be provided by your supervisor.
The Cotton program maintains 10 classing offices across the United States, each of which is subject to natural hazards such as thunderstorms, tornadoes, and earthquakes. In addition, all Cotton classing offices are exposed to certain operational hazards such as fires. It is important for all employees to know how to respond to each of these different situations. A plan has been developed in every office detailing the appropriate response for each of these hazards. As an employee, you should know the routes of evacuation and the meeting place for each emergency. Different situations can require different responses. For example, a fire in the building would require an evacuation of the workplace, while in the case of a tornado, the safest course of action is to remain in the building. You should always pay attention to your nearby coworkers. It is very important to keep the total count of every employee when an evacuation occurs or immediately after a natural disaster. If missing employees can be identified quickly, action can be taken to locate them and to assure their safety. In case of a fire, it is extremely important to know all of the potential evacuation routes and all the exit points in the building. A fire can potentially block the most convenient exit point and make it necessary to use an alternate route out of the building. In case of severe weather such as a thunderstorm or tornado, all employees should gather in a single file in an interior hallway as far possibly from windows, glass, and doors. The primary hazards in these situations are flying glass and other debris. In case of an earthquake, you should proceed carefully to an interior hallway or to the nearest wall that is clear from potentially falling objects and get on the floor. It is also recommended that you crawl under sturdy furniture for further protection from falling objects. You should not evacuate from the building during an earthquake unless a new hazard, such as a fire in the building, requires immediate evacuation. Awareness is the key to a safe environment. Employees should be aware of all of the different evacuation routes, exit points, meeting locations, your fellow workers, and potential problems. If at any time you notice that an evacuation route is blocked, a supervisor should be notified immediately.
Lifting objects is a common activity in many workplaces. If not done properly, there are many ways you can be injured while lifting objects at work. In this video, we're going to show you some proper lifting techniques and share some tips to help you minimize the risk of injury while in the workplace. Preparation before you lift is key. It's important to size up the load before starting and handling. Always check before lifting to see if there are any lift trucks or dollies available. Check the weight of the object you're going to lift. Check that both the pathway and planned location of the load is free of obstacles. Get help with heavy or awkward loads. When you are ready to lift, follow these general guidelines. Lift upwards, following your head and shoulders. Hold the load close to your body. Squat down. Use your legs and hips to lower yourself down to the object. Grasp firmly with both hands. Avoid twisting and side bending when lifting. Thank you for watching Safe Lifting Techniques, presented by the Standardization and Engineering Branch. I'm Kay Malone. Be safe.
Hello, this is Robbie Seals, Director of the Grading Division. You have just seen a video on safety. We, the management team of the Cotton Program, take safety very seriously. We expect you to do the same. In the future, you will be receiving safety training in your respective offices. It is management's responsibility to make you aware of maintaining a safe work environment, to include the equipment that you will be working with. Safety ultimately falls on all of you, since management can't be there all of the time. Anytime that you observe an unsafe act or any equipment that could cause a safety hazard, you will need to inform your supervisor immediately. Again, to reinforce, the Cotton Program's management team takes safety as it makes it their #1 priority. Also, you should always be aware of co-workers and what is going on around you, your workstation. Know where the fire exits are, make sure pathways are clear, and be thinking safety at all times. Remember, be safe.